Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the second video in Web Design Fundamentals. Technically, I guess it's the third video, but I'm just going to call it the second, so just deal with it. Um, so in this video, I know I said in the last video that we were going to be going over links. Well, actually, let me talk about the last video real quick. If you missed that video, go back and watch it. It went over all the basics, the very foundation of HTML, what it is and how to write it. So make sure you watch that video first. It's going to be the video directly before this one in the playlist. And so just watch that, get familiar with HTML, make sure you can recreate what we did as your little homework assignment. And then once you're comfortable with all that, we can move on to this video. So what we're doing today, instead of links, we're going to be looking at the heading element. And the heading element is, well, there's actually multiple heading elements, and we're going to look at all of them. And basically, they allow you to have a heading, a bigger block of text, basically like a title piece of text for your paragraph or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and look at that. So if you remember from last time, we had this web page right here. This is zoomed in. Actual size is like this. We had this is a paragraph, and the end, this is a cool video. And I think I forgot to mention in the last video, the title element where you put your title, that's what gets displayed up here. My first web page, that was our title. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open this in text editor. So as you can see, we have right here, the title is my first web page, and then we see that right up here. That's what this does. Anyway. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and pause this video and write this code in. I don't know why let's bring that tab width down. There we go. You should be able to recreate this yourself, so I'm just going to give you a quick second to go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we have our same web page from last time, and now we're going to look at the heading elements. And there's 6 heading elements, and basically, well, let's go ahead and look at the first one. It's kind of hard to explain unless you see it. So the way that we describe the heading element is with the characters H and the letter 1. HTML tags are always lowercase, so just remember that. And then we're going to close that. And then remember from last video, we always close our elements with the slash and then the type of element that we're closing. And inside of this, we can put our heading. So let's just go our great story, because obviously this is a fantastic story down here. So let's go ahead and save this, go up here to File Save, and refresh our browser. And now you can see this big heading element, and in actual size it's going to look like this. And basically the heading elements are just bold text and bigger font. And so they're similar to the paragraph tags, except they're used for titles and headings. Look at that. Heading element is used for headings. How useful. So that's what that does. I did mention that there's 6 of these. And basically, each one is numbered. So that was H1, and our next one is H2. And each one consecutively gets smaller. So we could say that this is a subheading. So let's save that and see what happens there. So notice how this is a little bit smaller than that. And then we also have H3, H4, H5, and H6. Let's go ahead and create all of those. Smaller. And remember, you can put anything in here. It's just text. Smaller still. Let's go really small. Oops, J6. And tiny. So now let's go in here and refresh. And as you can see, each one gets smaller and smaller. And actually, by default, some of these are even smaller than the paragraph tags. The only difference is that this is bold text. And once we get into CSS, what CSS allows us to do is change the type of font, change the size, change whether it's bold or not. And that's just what CSS allows us to do with text. It's really useful for creating boxes and little design things in your web pages. But for now, all we need to know is that each of these is its own heading element. So we have our H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6, and then our old paragraph tags from before. And let's just go back here. And it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy to remember. H1, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. And inside of these tags we put the text, just like we would for a paragraph. So these heading elements are useful for creating titles for paragraphs or anything you want to display. I guess we could go ahead and look at an example. Let's go to google.com and let's just type in web design. So this would be an example of a heading element right here, or right here, because these are all headings. They might actually be just links, or they might be links and headings. Anyway, let's look at a better example. If we go to this is a web design website, A List Apart. They have great articles on web design once you get into more advanced topics. This would be considered the heading element, and this would be our paragraph element right here. So that's kind of seeing that in action. That looks a little bit nicer than this. So you can kind of start to see what CSS is going to allow us to do. But right now we're not worried about CSS. I just wanted to show you guys what it can end up looking like later on. That way you guys get a little more excited about what you're going to be learning, because right now it's pretty basic, pretty ugly. Just bear with us. You got to get through the basics here before we can do anything super cool. But I still think it's pretty fun to be able to create this from the code that you write, and it's fairly simple to do that. HTML is a pretty easy language to learn. It's not like programming where there's a bunch of crazy concepts involved. It's pretty straightforward. It just takes some getting used to, especially if you've never programmed before. But anyway, so this is our HTML page. We have all these headings here. Just get comfortable with these heading elements. If you feel like you've got them in the bag, you can go ahead and move on to the next episode. Otherwise, experiment around, add some of your own, change stuff around. In the next video, we're going to learn how to create links. So, like, for example, we click on this and it goes to another page, which is the full article here. There's links here, there's links here. So we're going to be doing that, which is going to be pretty cool. It's going to introduce some new topics in HTML. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just go ahead and practice around with this, and in the next video we're going to be creating some links. Alright, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see the next one, hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. I love the feedback, so if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And I will see you guys in the next video.